Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ahmani Brown. We have Aaron over there.
Hi.
We have Leon over there.
Hello.
We have Pele over there.
I want to really kill myself right now.
Dude,
And it
watch...
just so happens.
Okay,
Right
so
before,
context,
I'm gonna lead us
context,
into it. I'll lead us into it. And right before we started the podcast, we started watching a nice little video. So obviously, we're gonna come in hot with some stuff. So if you're not prepared for Warhammer 40k stuff, especially Space Marine,
Space Marine 2.
Space Marine 2. Well, just Warhammer
yeah,
in
no,
general,
we're just
really.
not prepared for it. Yeah, we're not going into spoilers. It's really,
Generally, Warhammer in general.
Yeah,
This is
but
just,
just Warhammer. If you're not ready for that, just to get hit by that wave, prepare yourself because you're gonna get hit with a lot of it right now.
And if you are by any chance, hopefully nobody that listens to our podcast listens to Synthetic Man. But if you watch Synthetic Man on YouTube and you enjoy him, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, we're going to critique him. we're going to critique him.
I'm gonna critique
him real quick.
hard.
Now that that's been said, let's get it, Aaron. Give us the context. What's happening here?
So, as you guys know, we did the stream a little bit ago. Pele and I were doing it. We have been playing Space Marine 2 quite a bit.
It's been fun.
And I've been watching a lot. I like watching on YouTube. You know, I'm from that era of people where like I go around looking at creators, different videos, different commentary stuff. I like listening to people yap. It helps me focus on other things. You know,
Makes
what I mean?
sense.
Yeah, lore breakdowns
so
usually.
Yeah, but I've also been listening to people break down like the reviews of the game because it's interesting. I'm a fan of 40k. I want to see what like people that aren't really big fans of 40k and are looking at it from more of an outside perspective, how are they enjoying
Different
it?
opinions, yeah.
And so far, most of the opinions are quite similar to mine. Like the game is overall very good. The story is short; it's like 8 hours. But realistically, you have operations and multiplayer, and they're going to keep adding more operations, which is the good thing. And hopefully, they keep adding a multiplayer. You know, it's definitely a throwback to the old Xbox era of games where you would get like an 8-hour game story, something for like multiplayer, and then like a PvP mode that they would just kind of put there so that you could like go play for fun. You know what I mean? Very, very good throwback. So this video we're watching by Synthetic Man, overall, most of the things he talks about are like, you know, like he doesn't like some of the game mechanics from what I understood, which I can kind of get.
That's
a lot
fine.
of that stuff is
It's
subjective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The story and like the level design and enemy design, I also get the critiques of people that don't like the fact that there isn't like a humongous variety of enemies. Mm-hmm. I also understand that critique. But he brings up DEI, which is an acronym that I don't even know what it stands for.
Diversity,
I know what,
equity, yeah.
Yeah, I know what it means. I just never knew what like. I thank you for telling me. I just never knew what it meant like actually.
Like
but he starts talking
now.
about DEI. DEI, for those you know, is as Pele said. What was it, Pele?
Diversity, equity, integration.
Okay, essentially,
Fascinating.
It's kind of a weird word now because it's something that people are
Inclusion. My bad.
Games.
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have inclusion. I think it's a very good thing. I do think there are times where inclusion can feel forced in video games and shows where it's like very clear that they just needed a colored person here, so they're gonna put like some random black guy. You know, it feels very weirdly written sometimes. So I understand people's critiques of forcefully changing a character that wasn't. You know, I completely understand it, but.
And people just keep in mind that like
people of all shapes and colors
of our podcast
exist.
Is this? Yeah, just
I also do want to know. Yeah. I don't think any of us here are white, by definition.
No,
the closest person to white is me, and I'm Latin American.
I'm probably in that category.
You know,
you don't count me.
You don't count. You're actually as far away from it as possible.
You're everything
you have
else.
so many things in you.
Everything else.
But like. Nobody in our group is white. I'm the closest thing to it as like a Latin American who's like got more European DNA, I guess, if you could say it. But like I'm not technically
and that's
white by like U.S. standards.
You're like heavy Latino on top of that. So like,
I live in Latin America. I live here, so like you know, I'm totally okay with it. If I see a black character in a movie, I'm not gonna fucking lose my mind. It's a black character. Black people exist. Indian people exist. Everyone exists, right? So let's establish that. Nobody cares. As long as it's a well-written character, that's all I care about. The color
that's usually what most of us actually
is very like secondary. Like if it's a well-written character, I don't give a fuck what the color of their skin is. They could be green for all I care. It's a well-written character, right? So in Space Marine 2, Titus, being the guy you play, gets two characters where if you're player 2 and 3, you like play as them, Gadriel and Chiron. Gadriel is Gadriel or Gadriel, I don't know how to say it
Gadriel.
exactly. He's this super hot Asian guy with an ultra giga Chad face.
He is
Hot as
weirdly
shit, by
hot.
the way.
I don't know what
He's
that's about.
Hot as fuck, by the way. Hot.
The fan
Like,
base
10 out
is
of 10,
so
man.
thirsty for him right now, man.
Pointed it out, and I'm like, why is he so?
He's so hot.
Don't
It's
question
crazy.
it. He's just hot.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
you.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not kidding.
Can
He's
I
hot as
see a
shit.
picture
Like,
of
hold
him
up.
very quickly by
Are
any
you
chance?
watching
I'm
the?
just curious.
Are you watching the?
I don't
stream?
know.
Yeah, no, you gotta look at this so you can just understand.
He's weirdly hot Asian, which I'm okay with because
Like,
you know,
look at him.
as
Look
an
at
Asian, I
him.
need representation.
He's gorgeous. Like, look at him. He's gorgeous, man.
In this gritty
He's
ass
hot.
world, he's just a hot Asian dude.
Hey, there's some very
He's-
there's some very pretty people in Warhammer. That's not a
The scars and everything.
yeah.
So he's
Chad
Asian.
Chad of the verse.
Okay, Drill's Asian, and Chiron's a black guy, right? He's black. So in this criticizing that he's giving, he is criticizing the. For some reason, he said it was like a. What did he say? What it was? Let me see.
It's a little woke. Small amount.
Small amount of wokeness in the game, and he's calling it left-wing propaganda. Comical amount of diversity. There's a captain in the game, or a commander, I believe, of the Astra Militarum, who is a woman, which has a large. Looks a little. I say she looks very Turkish, like Eastern European, but I can
lot of us
also make the
definitely
argument
thought,
that you can see the
Indian.
Middle Eastern, maybe
Middle
Indian
Eastern.
vibe. I totally get that. Like, she has a very defined nose, very like angled, very like, you know, it sticks out. It doesn't look European. It doesn't look like you know, Western European per se. And she is the commander, mind you, of the regiment of Cadians that are fighting on this planet, right? For those who
Literally
don't know
in
who
charge.
Cadia is. But yeah, she's in charge of Cadians were like this whole planet that were like known for like how like good they were at fighting, and then at one point their planet got invaded and they were holding on for help, and then their planet fucking exploded. That's that. Like, Cadia is dead. They're gone. All the Cadians you see are like the last remaining remnants of the Cadian forces. It's actually kind of crazy. So in a lot of situations, they tend to look different than most people in 40K. In the books, people are described as having like looking Cadian, which implies that they look different. They don't look like the average Imperial person. But regardless of that, at no point in 40K, and Pele can attest to this, is it clear or is it stated that there's only white people? Like, at no point.
Oh, yeah,
The whole thing is, in 40K, race isn't important because everyone's human. It doesn't matter what color your
tends to be the
fucking
thing
skin
when you
is.
hit sci-fi,
You are
honestly.
a human being.
In
Race
most
doesn't
sci-fi
matter
things.
anymore,
Yeah,
right?
like, it's just you're a human. Human is human, whether it is brown, like brown, white,
And even
black,
human,
whatever.
like the Imperium constantly kills humans that aren't part of the Imperium. Like, they're constantly at war with other humans. So it's not like the Imperium's the only humans that exist. There are other ones out there apart from the Imperium doing their own kind of thing here and there, just not as many.
To get to
And then primarily, I will be honest, 40K is, you know, dominated by a lot of white people, Europeans. It's British.
it's
you
all
know,
British. Everybody in 40K is British.
This man has a whole fucking stroke about like, well, all those Space Marines come from the gene seed of like the Primarch. Very true. That is a thing that happens. But Mr. Synthetic Man, I don't think you understand that they're not clones of the Primarch. None of them actually look like the Primarch. They're not directly related to the Primarch. Every single Space Marine that you see is some dude who was a normal person at one point who got chosen to become a Space Marine, went through the whole process of becoming a Scout Marine, and then becoming a Space Marine after like potentially hundreds of years. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're all going to be the same color. In fact, there's like no reason for any of them to look alike. They can be from completely different planets. You know, they could look entirely different. There's like no reason for there not to be a black or like Asian or like, you know, whatever X race Space Marine. It's not really needed to be a certain race.
stated.
You just need to be a guy. That's the only stipulation. You got to have the Y chromosome. That is it. That is the only stipulation to becoming a Space Marine.
Is it sexist?
There isn't
yes,
anything on
but
about
that's
being.
that's part of the lore.
Yeah, you want to be a woman and do some crazy shit? Go join the Sororitas.
Sororitas,
They'll
yeah.
help you out. Trust me.
Don't do it. Don't get
or
it done.
any other Astra
Militarum,
Militarum
yeah.
regiment. Like the military in 40K is so like it don't matter. You can fight. I don't care if you got dick and balls or a
Can you
vagina.
fight?
We don't matter. Pick
all
up the
I
gun
need
and
to
shoot. You know what I mean? So like him losing his mind over him losing his mind over a black Space Marine and an Asian Space Marine, and then also calling out the fact that the commander isn't pretty. Like, he was like, oh, she's ugly at that, and he talks about he wants to stomp her head in. It's like, just because she's not like attractive, bitch, she's fighting a war. I don't know if you've met women that are in power, but most of them you don't want to fuck. You for sure don't want to fuck with them, as Robin Williams once said. You don't, realistically speaking. I don't want to fuck her per se. I don't think she's ugly. I don't want to fuck with her though. She might rip my arm off. That honestly,
considering that she's fighting a war that's been happening for like centuries, and she's the commander, I'm assuming she knows what she's doing.
Her being on the he states that she feels like a girl boss character, and I don't know what he means by that. She's just a commander. She even treats you with respect. At no point during the game does she treat you with disrespect. Am I right, Pele?
Nope, not at all.
She's not even mean to you. She comes up to you and it's like, "Thank you for your help, but we didn't think we'd have like Space Marine help.
Yeah,
this is what we need to get done."
Even when
and then on
the comms. Yeah. On one section where she's her group and is her forces on command, like she possibly in trouble. The Space Marine characters are wondering like, should we help them? Like, no, she goes on the comm like, no, we got this. You got some better.
She literally goes, "We're Cadians. We can handle ourselves." And if he's going, that's why she's a girl boss. It's like, bro, they're Cadians. That's their entire thing. And it made me laugh because his whole entire spiel. Javi, I don't know if he's ever been on the podcast.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast.
He's been on. Javi and I were talking. We were playing one day, and we were just because 40K, unfortunately, is a little bit of a bastion for a lot of people that are like genuinely actual bigots because of like the way that the universe works. It makes sense if you look at it because they don't read into the universe. They just get, oh, this is a hateful universe. That means I can be racist. And it's like, yeah, but not really. If you're racist towards black people in the Imperium, they're gonna look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're humans. They're like, what the fuck is why?
The reason why it's not human racist.
They hate Xenos.
Yeah.
They hate
There's
Xenos.
enough racism in the world of 40K outside of humans. Like humans are getting killed virtually every left, right, way, and center in the 40K universe. Counting each other, well, it's already bad enough. They have other troubles to take care of. Race in 40K as humans is the least of their concerns. That is the very.
I will also say him, like, I like that they made Gadriel like attractive because there are attractive Space Marines.
Yeah.
But it also makes me mad that he's like, oh wow, she's ugly, and it's like, bro, in lore, most Space Marines are like more scar tissue than they are regular tissue. Like they are ugly as fuck. They look like barely humans. In some situations, that's how ugly some of the Space Marines are. They just aren't
pulled up and looked as gorgeous as he does is crazy.
Yeah, but like it's so weird that it's like, oh, they're ugly. It's like, yes, it's Warhammer is a grim, dark universe. Everything is kind of meant to be ugly.
Everything, ugly.
And also, I don't like. I'm looking at her right now. Like, look at this screenshot. She's not even trying. She's not even like. She's in the middle of about to say something. This isn't like an aesthetic pose or anything. She doesn't look ugly. She just looks like she's like in her.
Woman.
She looks like she's in her 50s. She looks older. She's just
which is a rarity in Warhammer.
Realistically speaking,
honestly, the fact that she is like a 40, that's what I'm saying. The fact that she's like a 40 or 50-year-old woman makes me go like, oh, she's been through some stuff.
She's badass.
In this world.
She's got like a fucking medal on her chest. She's got like campaign medals on her chest. Like, it's so crazy to me that this guy can say that. And then, like, you look in the comments, for example, and, like, a bunch of the comments are like, why are black... A lot of the comments are like, oh, minute 19, 11 seconds. Why are black people in the game? Also him a few minutes later. But I don't know nothing about the lore of Warhammer. It's like, yeah, exactly. You don't know shit about the war of Warhammer. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, it's so, like, outwardly, like... I usually try not to say, like, oh, it's sexist, but, like, that's just straight up fucked up. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like, how do you say that? Oh, there's a comedic amount of fucking, of DEI. How? There's, like, 3 non-white characters that are important. And then the people that you play in multiplayer are, like, there's a couple black guys, and, like, there's definitely at least 2 black characters that you play in the multiplayer, like the heavy,
because you did get
and
to see
the Vanguard
in the campaign.
And I think the assault, like, there are, but it's like, oh, so, like, so what? Like, the main character is a white guy. Every other dude you see is a white guy. Realistically, what does it fucking matter? Like what the fuck? It's not like
you're that upset about it. Go do. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I don't really know what to tell you. It's crazy. Just put your helmet on. Pretend. I don't fucking know, man. Jesus.
But I mean, more so than anything, it's just like, because you mentioned like seeing a couple of the stuff, and then you're like, there's just stuff where you're like, I don't know, I don't want to call him racist or anything like that. You're like,
yeah, but this, like, I try to use that.
But this is the straw.
I try to be very, like, if I'm gonna say this person is genuinely, actually racist or bigoted, I try to, like, use that word in, like, its serious form. Like, I'm not gonna call somebody racist over, like, the dumbest shit. It's like, no. But this right here, this is, like, genuinely, actually, like, actually.
Tipped him over. He was like, no, this guy is a fucking racist.
Like, I saw this on Twitter, and I was like, That's so crazy that he fucking said that. Like, he actually, like, said that, the thing is, he said it, recorded it, edited it, and then posted it, and waited for it to render on YouTube, and the entire time, he goes, yeah, no one's gonna look at this and go, maybe this dude's a sexist bigot who, like, probably shouldn't have his voice, like, on YouTube that loud, you know what I mean?
Didn't
like,
have
holy
that thought
shit.
process at any point.
Like, how do you get there? Like, oh, there's a comedic amount, 3 characters.
To be fair, this is the same. Well, it's not the same people, but it's the same internet that, like, you know, the swagger of a black teen got out. The exaggerated swagger of a black teen got out.
That's not racist. Like,
That's not
I'll be
racist.
honest,
It's funny.
That is
funny.
that is
No.
racist.
What I mean by
like,
that, that is not so much like, because it's the fact that, like, you went through
It's the fact that he said
post-production,
that,
you went through everything,
I got you.
and no one
you.
at all was like,
got you.
you know,
Hey, maybe you should, like,
maybe run that one
say
back.
that, you know? Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, like, it's crazy watching this video because, like, I sat through, like, I put it on, like, almost 2 times speed. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't gonna watch the whole thing, like, the whole way through. But most of his critiques are like kind of understandable. There's a couple that I think he's just maybe not good at games, but, like, genuinely speaking, overall his critiques, you know, you can take them at face value. Most of them are genuinely, like, a critique of the game that I can understand. And then there's, like, 9 minutes like right there in the middle where he just makes himself look like an absolute retard, like in every shape and form.
You're like,
where I'm like, wow,
crazy. I just threw your entire
all your opinions gone now. I can't take you fucking seriously because really, like, like 3 separate characters are enough for you to go, yeah, this game's too woke for me. It's not like I see more than 3 black people a day. You know, like, statistically speaking, how likely is that? I don't know. Anyways, we were watching that. Really fun way to introduce the podcast. That shit was that was something else.
Yeah, we just had to get that off the chest, off rip.
That's funny as fuck.
That was funny.
That's funny. Like, I've never actually watched a video where I'm like, oh, this person's, like, actually a racist. You know, like, actually, you know, I'm pretty good at spotting when people are just doing it because they know they're wanting to be edgy and they're trying to be, like, you know, cool or whatever the fuck. But there's times where it's like, no, this guy, like, actually genuinely doesn't like the fact that he has to look at a colored person. He's mad that there's more
genuinely
like, he's
other people exist.
He's mad there's a woman who's not attractive as the commander of an army. Surprise, surprise. I don't know if you've seen women in the military, dude. I don't know. There's some attractive ones there, but most of them are fucking
really
hard.
Don't have to
They're
be.
hard-looking women. Like, those are women that you're like, damn, she'd beat my ass, okay?
Clearly. Without mercy.
Like, mercilessly, yeah. Like, she would not fucking care. I don't know, that shit's funny to me. Like, she looks exactly what a commander of an army would look like to me if she was, like, in the 40K universe. Like, if she looked pretty, I'd be pissed. If she was, like, if she was, like, perfect faced, and even if she had the same exact face, but she had no scars, it was, like, completely perfect and makeup up and everything, I'm like, who is this bitch? That's a fucking imposter. That's heresy right there, motherfucker. Hell no. That is not a goddamn commander.
You don't live that long and don't have at least a scar in this world. That's not how this
if a
works.
fucking space marine can't get through without scars, no way you, as a human being, can. I'm sorry to break it to you, bro. Oh, man. Anyways. Welcome to the podcast, everyone.
This is a great one.
This is a great beginning. It's great beginnings.
Yeah, what you guys been messing around with besides this? Because obviously we know we've been playing Warhammer. Leon, I'm gonna start with you this time because
Okay.
You got, buddy.
you got swept last time.
All your anime. Give us all your anime.
For me, I already talked about the one thing last time. Not gonna talk about that again. But there are 2 manga and 1 webtoon that I want to talk about.
All right, run it.
So first manga is kind of wholesome. This one is called
Remember to send those.
Demon Queen Sama Cannot Defeat
titles in the
Hero
chat.
Queen. Yeah.
Okay. Just remember.
It's not that long. It's not that long, I promise you.
Fucking send this so you can put what we were talking about in there.
Yeah.
It's funny because like the title of the video is
That's
Space
the
Marine is
first
peak masculinity, and I'm like, I can't argue with that. That is a true statement, but everything else about his video falls apart at that moment.
So Demon Queen Sama can't defeat Hero. Oh, wait a minute. Have you talked about this one before?
I think I swear I've heard of it.
I mean, I'm assuming you're catching up. Is this the one with the dude that just doesn't want to be a hero and she's trying to like, be pre
No, this is different. No.
Okay.
That's a manhwa. That's
Okay.
a manhwa.
where
This
like
one's
she's
a
just trying to
manga.
be preemptive by like going to stop him and he's like, bro,
Oh
I'm
shit,
just
it's Rey
chilling
Mysterio.
over here.
I'm so sorry. I'm watching the UFC fight and it's Rey Mysterio. I just saw your. I was like, oh fuck, it's Rey Mysterio. Sorry.
But no, in this one, the Demon Queen, she very much doesn't want to deal with the hero, and the hero's actually like a child right now, and she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna murk this child. Just go about it, quick and easy. She goes there, sees the kid, and is like, damn, this boy is adorable. I can't. Like, and so it becomes this little gag of her trying to do something, but it's not working because he's too cute, and it's just really wholesome between the two of them as he tries his best to, like, grow up, be a hero. He wants to defeat the Demon King, even though he has no idea because he's a kid. He's
That's actually hilarious.
oblivious to the situation.
It's the idea that it's just like, oh, this poor child. I could end him right now, but like I can't.
Like there was
Why
a
would I
really
do
wholesome
that?
scene of just between the two of them just arm wrestling, and she's just going to like pile drive him, just slam him into the ground. But he's like, no,
Stop
I
this
can't.
child.
He's trying so hard. He's so cute.
The effort.
So yeah,
How could
give
I
this a
deny
shot.
him?
It's very wholesome. Although as anime being anime and Japan being Japan, there's some ecchi stuff, but it's not like
It's never towards the
nasty.
child. It's just like
It's not towards the child. No,
Okay.
it's just her. It's mainly just
Okay.
her. Also, she's a buff mommy, so
she's a
buff
buff
on
mommy.
that one.
Interesting.
Yes.
Aaron's ears should have been perked up by that.
Yes, it should have.
Yes,
No, I think all of us. We're like,
My eyes literally shut up. I'm
okay.
ashamed to say.
Let me find an image of her if I can find it very quickly.
We like muscle mommies. We like those. All right, what's the next one, bro?
The next one is going to be the manhwa that I've been reading recently. It is called "The Night Only Lives Today."
Real quick
I
question.
fucking hate you.
What?
I was reading this exact one trying to.
What is a manhwa? Like what exactly?
Korean,
It is,
Korean.
it's Korean.
Korean,
comic,
because there
essentially.
are like
Okay,
there
okay.
are three. There's the manga, which is Japan, manhwa, which is Korean, and then manhwa. It's like HUN, HUN. I'm not totally sure if I pronounced that correctly.
Huh? What
Which
do you
is
mean?
Chinese.
The Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm pretty
I think
sure
it's
I'm
manhwa.
wrong.
Yeah, but I think it's yeah.
manhwa.
The crazy part is they all went with color. I mean, granted, they're all webtoons.
Besides
So to
from
speak.
manga. Manga doesn't do that.
Yeah, manga is the only one that
Korean,
doesn't. But
Korean
like they're
and
all web
China
series,
do color.
so that makes sense. But yeah, they got color in it. And it looks nice.
Yes.
It's anime art style, but like it looks. They got some slight differences that makes it like look like not exactly
Yeah.
anime. Like it gives it its own like type thing. Like what a manhwa or like a manhwa design looks like when you see it, because you're like, you're not from an anime, are you?
I think
or
the
a
only
manga.
I think the only manhwa to like anything that I've watched was Scissor 7. I'm pretty sure because that's Chinese.
Oh yeah, Scissor 7
right?
is very
If
different.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that would be technically that. Yeah.
No, you've seen Solo Leveling. You've seen a little bit of Solo Leveling.
Oh, okay.
Solo
So
Leveling's
that was the big
Korean.
deal about
Okay,
Solo
okay,
Leveling.
okay.
Solo Leveling's Korean, not Chinese.
Yeah, but it's a manhwa.
Manhwa.
Manhwa,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
but
it's like
I was
it's not.
saying,
It's not.
Oh, there's
I was
also
saying Scissor 7 was a manhwa because it was Chinese.
so just to make it a little more complicated. There's also the Korean manga, which is pronounced OEL manga, French manfra, and Wells one from the nation of
that's just
Algeria,
whack foo.
and DC manga.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is waifu. You're not wrong. That is correct.
It's whack foo. It's whack foo. And then there was this show that I watched. It was on Netflix. But it was Spanish. It was this animated show that was actually like sick as fuck. The story was super complicated, but I watched it with my cousin, and it was like a Spanish anime. It was like anime style, but it was made in like Spain.
Was it Los Manos or was it a different?
No.
It's
It
not
was
Los
a different one. It was a different one. All I remember is there was a blonde guy, and he was like there was two dudes who were like super hot, and one chick who was also hot, and it was like this weird love triangle thing that was like kind of annoying, but they actually made it kind of interesting. But like overall, like I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll ask my cousin, but like it was a Spanish. It was for sure like a Spanish anime. I remember that shit being like super weird.
That's
to me.
kind of fun. But tell me more about. I mean, I already know.
You
what it
know,
is,
yeah.
But like,
The Night
tell
Only Lives
us
Today.
more about The Night Only Lives Today.
All right, Night Only Lives Today is about Enrique, and he had a long dream of wanting to be a knight, essentially. However, he sucks. He's not that good at being a knight.
He fucking died.
He's very weak. He tries his best. He just can't like achieve that goal. Even to a point where a child can beat his ass in a fight, essentially.
Damn.
Prodigy child, but a child can beat his ass. And so he's now a mercenary, still trying to hone his skills and going about his life. But he then gets into a fight, into a battlefield, comes across this one individual, and he dies. He just gets beheaded. The man, and he doesn't get beheaded. He gets stabbed, and passes away. Next thing you know, he comes back into his same room that he was sleeping in that day. Nothing happened. Everything was repeating as is. This man has returned by death via ReZero. And because of this now, he is... Yeah, Groundhog's Day too. Because of this now, he is going to try his best to get out of this loop by, stop himself from dying, by killing that guy. However,
I want to point out, it takes him way too long to notice he's in
Yes.
a fucking loop.
He tries
it takes him
so
way
hard.
too
He tries like a lot, but he keeps fucking up because he's just not that talented. But this man has the determination of I don't know what. He has probably more determination than Subaru right now. But with this circumstance and everything. And that's basically the premise of the story. It's him trying his best to get out of this death loop and him progressing his skills to become a knight. And the best part is so far about it, for me at least, is that he's not trying to use someone else to progress his goals. It's just him. He's training himself, learning the best he can, and he's getting it done so he can do this for himself. It's not, hey, Reinhardt, help me out. Got you, man. I can do this. So give it a shot.
I like the fact that Subaru is weak in ReZero, and that like he uses his resources to get out of situations. But it is kind of refreshing to know that somebody's just like, nah, I just have to learn. Like
I gotta try.
I just gotta figure it out.
He has an infinite amount of possibilities to possibly try and learn what to do.
It's like, I genuinely just have to do it. I gotta do it. I gotta get it done.
This one only is actually pretty recent. It only has 10 chapters out right now, so give that a shot. Very much. I enjoy it. Shit.
Also,
and then
put it in the bottom so we can get this one. It's called a Spanime, which is crazy.
It's Spanish.
The Spanish.
It's called the Idhun Chronicles. I watched it in Spanish.
Interesting.
I watched it in Spanish. I'm gonna be honest with you, so I don't know like what it might be like in the dubbing in English or anything, but it was pretty good.
Interesting.
It does look kind of cool. Like it looks interesting from the front. It has 2 seasons.
Yeah, they speak Spanish in the fucking dumbass Spain way though, so you got to get past that.
You're like, oh, it's the Spain way. Fucking gross.
It's like listening to British English.
All right, Leon, what was the next one?
All right, the last one that I'm gonna talk about.
Demon Queen Sama. I don't know why the Queen Sama part makes me laugh. The hero.
That's what they do. They always say Sama. Sama this, Sama that. This is called The Witch's Bloody Paintings.
Oh.
Yes. This has fantasy concept, and I think actually is kind of tragedy, horror, possibly. I'm not totally sure. I don't remember the exact genre this is supposed to be.
Like horror?
Going around with.
You're not much of a horror fan, though, so that's kind of strange that you're.
This man's too much of a bitch to play Dead by Daylight with us.
Oh, dude, we have to play it soon. They have that new update. So, sorry to take the tangent, but they have an update that's like implements like complete darkness.
No Kaigashu.
It's kind of crazy.
No, it's fantasy supernatural, not horror. Fantasy supernatural.
Action, adventure, drama, fantasy, shonen. There you go. There's all the breakdown for you.
No horror.
Yeah. There you go. This
Let's see.
one is. I actually do read some horror stuff, so.
Stop being a bitch. Play some Dead by Daylight.
Asaya, she finds out that she has this magical power of being able to use her blood on like paintings and such and create, these magical paintings that can do different things. And it's just,
Well, that sounds dangerous off rip.
It is, yes. And she tells this to her friend Loki, and she's just happy. She's either happy, kind of worried, but happy about she can do this stuff and help out people and everything.
Tell anyone I could do that. I'm not even gonna lie.
But it's just her best friend Loki, and she even drew a little picture of him, Loki. And it's just really cute. They're all wholesome together and everything. And she's just living her best life in this church, and the church is even knows about her abilities as well. And the abilities have been helping out some of the people that come into the church asking for healing and everything. And it's really nice community for what she has with it. But after some time has passed, her health begins to degrade and not wanting for it to happen anymore. But she gets bought. She gets bought from the church to become a daughter of a noble. And as we all know with nobles, they're pieces of shit. They're actually wanting to use her ability.
Every work of fiction, they tend to be trash. Which is fair, because they were pretty trash in real life, honestly. So, makes sense.
And so because of this, wanting to use her abilities for profit, things more or less turn for the worse. And her abilities become used for evil means and become very corrupted and hurtful for human beings and mankind itself. And it came to a point where Loki did his best to try and help her out and such, but come to find out, Loki isn't a person. Loki is actually one of her paintings as well. And because of this, he's having to witness everything that is going on with her. And after her final moments, Asaya wants Loki to get rid of all the paintings. And with the last of her blood, giving him the ability to become basically real and a normal person, goes on to an adventure to get all the paintings down. So
that sounds kind of cool. He's like, man,
yes,
y'all bullied her. Fuck all y'all. Art gotta rule the world now because of you.
So yeah, it's an interesting quest, and there's some turns and plot twists in this that makes you just like, damn it, what the fuck? Why?
Why you like this?
And the world itself, there's some pretty tragic meanings and some really wholesome moments as well for what it is. So by all means, check it out. The Witch. What was the title? I always see the Japanese title. The Witch's Bloody Paintings. Give that a shot.
Yeah, I have to,
that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna talk about.
That's all you
if
got?
I go any more, there's gonna be a shit ton more mangas and stuff I'm gonna rant about.
All right, Pele, what about you, bro?
Well, as you guys already know, I've pretty much been playing Space Marine 2 with Aaron and Javi quite a bit, enjoying it. Played through the campaign; it was really enjoyable. I also been playing Astrobot quite a bit too. I haven't finished it.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I haven't finished it myself as well, but I'm trying to platinum that game. It's not difficult, so it's doable, but it's just really adorable. It's really fucking cute, and all the little references involved.
Running through and just doing 100% run on that.
Yeah, it's not a difficult game to 100%. So anybody who gets it, I do recommend at least trying 100% the game. The game is a little bit long, and it will take you a few hours. Yeah. But it's actually still pretty fun, pretty easy for the most part, and you can have some helpful hints along the game, so it's not impossible to do. Yeah, but it's, I would say, one of the best platformers I've ever played in a very long time, and that's actually rivaling a lot of Nintendo stuff as well.
Astrobot is so fucking good, dog.
It's great. The music's dope. The action's dope. Everything is just cute and adorable. And it even has some gacha mechanics for degenerates like Leon here. Let's see.
It was like former gotcha.
I'm just laughing because it was just the fact.
Yep. And also just like how it's a little like, especially if you play on the since it's only games won't be able to play on the PS5. It's one of the few games that actually uses the DualSense greatly, and it's just freaking cool. Because you just feel every step, you feel every walk, punch, hit, and every motion. Like this is so neat. This is so fucking cool.
I stand by it, and I continue to stand by it. And something that seems to be misunderstood, cough Sony, is that the most interesting thing about about the PS5 has nothing to do with its graphics fidelity.
No,
it's everything to do with that controller.
Honestly, I wish if the focus for developers and especially PlayStation moving forward was on the focus and controller, I think it would be more intriguing because graphic fidelity, while it's nice, and I know some players like crave it almost religiously. Honestly, it doesn't matter because Astrobot it looks great. Not gonna lie on that front, but it is also still just a game that's based off of cartoonish graphics.
Yeah, and that just allows it to hold up and look a lot better because of that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
I think it'll last very long, and just like Astro's Playroom prior to it, I think is a great celebration to Sony's franchises that had along with it from Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, The Last of Us, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, you name it.
Amy is in that game. I wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Okami did come out on the PS2 originally.
To be honest, the more that I think they show all these cameos, the more I'm just like, just bring them fucking back. I know it's the archive.
Oh yeah, no, that's what everyba's saying.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the biggest thing about it is the fact that recently, especially after Concord died,
like there's not enough franchises that Sony owns.
Not enough franchise. And like immediately after that statement came out, everybody was like, "Bro, hold up, wait a minute. First off, there's a list. Second off, there's a game that's about to come out and tell you how many franchises you have. Why would you say that? Why would you ever say that?"
Also, fun fact, I want to say that Sony has an interesting world record. One, owning releasing and killing one of the fastest worst games released in a very long time, as well as releasing one of the best platformers in a very long time.
I also think that if you look at it statistically speaking, I think Concord lost more money than E.T. did back in the day when it almost killed video games.
By inflation, probably.
I also need to remind people, even though E.T. did almost kill the world, like kill it, it did sell like the gaming industry. It did sell like 600 something copies.
Yeah,
600,000 copies rather, some shit like that. It sold a lot.
It
sold a lot, and
25,000.
Oh God, I don't even want to play video games.
I refuse to believe that it sold 25,000 because there were only a max of like 1,400 people playing on Steam. Mm-hmm. So where are the other 20K people on PlayStation? Yep. Like that many people on PlayStation?
Oh, Ahmani, you're gonna love this fact because apparently, despite it being
also,
online
goddamn,
short
what
time,
did I just look at in the general chat? Excuse me.
That's the Demon Queen.
Yeah. 69 people actually platinum Concord before it went under.
Oh,
that's crazy!
Wow,
how easy were those? I remember
dude,
there was.
You don't understand.
I remember there was a speed run. There was a speed run. Yeah, there were people speed running it because they was like, it's gonna get taken off the market, and I'm not gonna be able to complete it. No. That's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's like 69 people out there probably.
I would have just gone on Reddit and be like, "Hey man, I'm getting into a lobby. If anybody wants to complete this game, we're all just gonna fucking let each other complete the trophies."
That's what they did. They did do that. They were just jumping off ledges at some point.
That's crazy, dude.
Also, becomes in the collector's market. I'm not a big fan of the collector's market as a whole because of understanding, but
bro, people are buying it for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, a game that you can't play. It's a fucking
Gabe bought it for $40.
He bought it first.
He bought it for $40.
I know, but people are reselling
it.
That's sealed.
If you do end up selling it, good for you. I thought he was just buying it for. I was like, nah, dude, come on, don't do it. When I was like, okay, I get it.
I don't know. Gabe was reselling it for it, and I get that, but like people are actually willing to buy a paperweight for this much money. Jesus Christ.
Yes, which is crazy. Absolutely. But yes. Well, because it's defunct games are probably the better ones to have because even though you can't play it, it has more value because there's no way to get it.
No, Ahmani,
the disc might not even run because like the servers don't.
It load up the start screen. That's about it.
Load up to the start screen.
Yeah, no, but Ahmani, that's the thing. Like we already have examples of games who are essentially paperweights. You remember a game called Mag that existed back on the PS3? You can buy a copy for like $2 and you can't play it. So that's like.
It's gonna go up in value because it's a game that no one's gonna have copies of.
It's been over a decade and it's still only $2.
There's no way that's still $2.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are certain things that just don't gain value. As much as we like to pretend that things gain value, there are things that just don't gain value.
Yeah, I can't see Concord as
like Concord has the potential of gaining value purely because of this is the worst game ever made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it got shut down 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? But
ET will only gain value if it was one of the copies that was actually found in the landfill. It was
found buried in the landfill.
Yeah, other copies ET, you just have a shit game.
It's not like Ocarina of Time where like, oh, if you have an N64 copy of Ocarina, it's like, oh, that's like $80 you got right there, you know.
That's actually have one right now.
Because like it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous how expensive those are. I remember at like the bookstore that we used to go to. I literally just forgot the name of it, Ahmani. Holy shit. Edward McKay, yeah, Ed McKay had a copy of it, and it was like $90 because it was like I was like, no, holy shit, damn.
Even Superman 64.
That's a good game.
Yeah, even Superman 64 doesn't cost that much money. I got a copy for my friend like for like $10, and that game is also pretty fucking bad.
It's really. Speaking of, you all were talking about Astrobot. It's so funny to me that like that game just killed. Like people were like, oh wow, look at that. That's a game that I would have played on a PlayStation back in the day. Like that's like something that's like, this is back to when, like, you know, this is kind of what the games were all about. You know,
childhood memories.
I watching you play it, Ahmani. There was that one water level where you're going through the bubbles, and I was genuinely shocked. I was like, why did they go hard in the animation for this game? Like, I know that they wanted it to look pretty, but there's genuinely such good physics for so many parts of the game that they didn't need to try that hard for. No. They just said, fuck it, let's make the game look really good. And I'm like, oh, good, awesome,
no, Amani, I'm not sure if we got to this point.
It didn't need to look this good.
Yeah, Amani, I'm not sure if we got to this point in the game, but there's like a section where you actually have to ride on some bubbles to get to a character, and like, holy crap. Yeah, no. The bubble physics on that, like you blow into the mic on your controller, and you just ride the bubbles. Like you don't pop them; they just ride along with it. Like that's
because
impressive.
You're tiny, you just hop on top of them, and like it deforms and everything like that. But because you're so tiny, it doesn't pop, and it's just the way it rises up and it looks. It's like, and then on top of that, like it'll stop. Like it doesn't go as high because you're on it. Like it remembers the fact that you have weight.
So it's insane. It's absolutely crazy.
I was watching like Video Game Donkey released a video on it, and I was watching like all the worlds. I don't know how far you are, but there's a lot of those abilities that are like actually really cute. Like
I'm like halfway through the game.
It's if Balin's Wonder World or Wonderland or whatever the fuck was made
was actually good.
It was actually good. Exactly.
Hey Yuji Naga, take notes.
Isn't that guy in jail for fucking...
I think he's in jail for
insider trading.
Insider trading,
I'm pretty sure.
It's insider trading? Yeah. Let me make sure I'm not... Allegedly. I'm really not sure.
Allegedly insider trading.
I'm pretty sure it's insider trading, though. But allegedly, he was doing that. Insider trading is such an interesting crime.
He got a suspended prison sentence
in Japan.
of 2.5 years by court in Tokyo.
Yep.
Last year, so he's still in it.
He's on it.
He got fined over $1.2 million for 2 instances of insider trading during his time at Square Enix, where he directed the ill-fated Balin Wonderworld. Damn.
Extremely ill-fated. That shit did not go.
Nope.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Dang, insider trading, bro. They got him and Martha Stewart. Insider trading's scary.
That's why
it's such a blue-collar thing.
I know, but the blue-collar thing that's gotten a lot of rappers and gangsters.
It's really funny to me.
It's how they fucking got Al Capone.
No, Al Capone was tax evasion.
Tax evasion. They got tax evasion. The craziest thing that they could do.
Tax evasion for his mattress company, mind you.
Not the many illicit.
That's the wildest one.
Hey, Bonnie, if you've ever looked at your jug of milk and been thankful that you could see that it was expired via a date, you can thank fucking Al Capone for that shit. Funny enough. I think he had like either a kid or somebody that he knew got really sick from drinking spoiled milk, and then
I think it was his nephew.
Lobbied.
Yeah, I think it was his nephew.
Was it his nephew? It was somebody and he lobbied for them to put like
labels for like expired milk. Yeah,
it's so funny that's how it came to be. It started in his area, and then like it was like really popular because people were like, oh, I can see when my milk is gonna potentially go bad. I'll get this one. So it was better for market. It was really funny.
What a good idea. Thanks, Al Capone.
He's like, hey, this
That's the
fucking Mark
title.
almost.
That's the title.
Thanks,
right there.
thanks,
That's the
Al
title.
Capone.
Thanks, Al
Thanks, Al
Capone.
Thanks, Al Capone.
But yeah, Astrobot. Continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're good.
reviewing
So we
that.
did Astro. I played a lot of Astrobot. I'm gonna plan to fully platinum that game eventually soon. Let's see what else I've been doing. I've also been recently. I finally got to playing Frostpunk. I'm addicted to that fucking game.
Oh yeah, you've
Dude,
been
that
playing
that
it a
game
lot, actually.
that game is so fucking fun. I've
Yeah.
never played it, but like my cousin, he plays it all the time, and I would just fucking, it's so fucking crazy.
I've been addicted to that. I just finally beaten the first two like scenarios for it. After finally beating the second scenario, the game fucking crashed on me.
Bro,
because I
it
spent
does
several hours
not
just
fuck
playing.
around.
No, it's
It
a resource
does
management
not
game.
fuck around.
It's very brutal. It's essentially like the experience of having.
It's resource management on crack, bro.
Yeah, it's essentially this. You're trying to stop a leaking dam with your fingers, and more holes keep popping up as you go through. Like Jesus Christ! It's like,
Yeah, that's about right. For
and
that.
the sequel comes out in a week, so I'm kind of excited.
I thought
That is true.
I thought that was already out. To be honest,
No, Frostpunk
No.
2 comes out in literally a week, so it comes out on the release day for Transformers 1, which I'm gonna go see with Zach by that day as well.
Yeah, please tell me how that is.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
reviews
interested,
fairly
but
soon.
I'm also kind of like, it's weird to me. I think the movie's gonna be interesting. Is
Mm-hmm.
the best way I could describe it.
I mean, I have the same
it's
interest of
just
seeing Transformers like Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. It's like, oh, it exists. I might see it in cinemas, but maybe not because I don't want to waste the money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know how. It's very much kiddish. It's definitely a kidder version of like Transformers. I mean, I say this as a full-grown man that likes Transformers, which is a cartoon and a toy.
It's
I have heard
it is
good
the
things about it,
first
though.
it's the first animated Transformers movie in a very long time.
That's true. But it's this fact that it's like it's taking on this, which is weird because I also don't want to say this is like because it's animated, it's kid like. No, it just takes on more of a silly tone, especially for the characters that we're following, which
War
are just
criminals,
a young Megatron
and a young Optimus Prime, yeah.
Optimus Prime, right?
Was his
So
name
it's like,
always Megatron? Or did he have a name?
No, his name was always Megatron, I think, and definitely Optimus Prime's name was never always Optimus Prime.
yeah, he had to become a Prime.
Yeah.
So he was just Optimus, I guess.
No, it had a different name. I think. Remind me, I'm not the biggest lore nut of Transformers. Zach would be probably a bit better on that one than I would.
Yeah. I haven't really looked into Transformers that much since like heavy since like War of Cybertron. Like since those games. Because those games are when I was like, oh, this stuff is sick.
And I
Right?
want those games to come back too.
I don't know why they won't remake. Oh wait, I do know why. It's because their studios is in the Call of Duty minds. Thanks, Call of Duty.
Yeah, thank you. High Move
Yay,
Studios stuck
Call of
forever.
Duty.
Yep.
Fuck you.
I mean, apparently the new game is based on the beta. It's fun. I mean, Aaron, you could probably talk better about it than I can because you've seen and played Call of Duty the most to kind of know the more appropriate opinion about how it is. Because you said it looks good, so.
What the
Black Ops
New
6.
Call of Duty.
Black Ops 6.
Oh,
Yeah, Black Ops 6.
like okay. I'll be honest with you. Like, it looks good. I was watching. I haven't played. I didn't play the beta. I'll be honest with you. I don't
Yeah,
really.
but you can give a better opinion. than
Devon,
I do, 'cause
who
I
should
don't
be named
think
and
it looks that
Gabe played
interesting at
it.
all.
Oh, and Jason.
Yeah,
I think Jason.
Devon played it like a little bit. I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah.
I mean, the movement is wild. Like, the movement is really cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, the Omni movement that they have, the way that you can, like, move around and dive around is actually kind of crazy. Because now you can, like, dive
It's just Max Payne,
backwards.
right? Like you're just Max
Yeah,
Payne
in
around.
first person, low key. So, like, the person shooting at you is going to see you dive 360 off of a fucking building and, like, shoot them in the face. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. It's really cool. The movement's really fast. The guns look good. Like, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. And if you're really into COD, it doesn't look bad. I just know it's gonna be sweaty beyond reason. Like, I'm telling y'all, it is.
You're like, I can feel it. I
If
feel
you're into like the
sweat.
arcade shooter kind of aspect of COD, into that like old, like more classic shooter style, you're probably gonna hate it. You're probably not gonna like it a lot, just because the movement's gonna make it makes aim very important, but it also is gonna make you need to move. It's not just point and shoot anymore. You're gonna have to learn to like dive out of the way while also shooting, so that you can counter their dive in one direction, kind of thing.
The craziest
know?
part is the way that sounds makes it sound like something I would like.
I mean, to be
But
honest,
watching it to me, it just looks so.
there's so much going on. There's like so much going on, and I like shooters. Don't get me wrong, but I also like am not at a point where I'd want to sweat all the time and like I know for a fact the way that people played Modern Warfare, like when last one that I played was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And the way
Yeah.
people played multiplayer of Modern Warfare 2, it's gonna be that on crack. And I already know I don't want to deal with it because I'm gonna want to use like X gun that's not gonna be that good, and there's gonna be a dude with a fucking like, I don't know, like a fucking shotgun that's gonna
Just a
fucking
sniper
dolphin
rifle
dive
or a
out of a
shotgun.
window 360 on the ground and then fucking shoot me. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I can't even be mad at the guy. That was cool
He's
as
gonna
shit.
flop
But
like a
like,
fish.
I just don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? I'd rather play something a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe I'm at a point in my life where I just want to play something more casual.
You
know,
just don't want to be a
realistically.
clip every time you boot up the game.
It is full of people. It is full of like, it's that type of twitchy kind of player base that like, or game base that like they've been having in all the other ones. It's so much
crazy, 'cause
less.
I like twitchy shooters. I just don't like twitchy competitive.
It's like
shooters, I would
twitchy
say.
on crack competitive. Yeah, that's a thing. It's like really twitchy. I do think it's really funny that you can take people like hostage. You can essentially grab somebody and like hold them at gunpoint and like use them as a body shield. And I think that is kind of funny.
I think
'cause
that's
you can,
cool.
You
Of
can
course,
talk to people.
they're
It's
toxic as
hilarious.
fuck, though.
I know, but Amani, that's
There's
so
proximity
hilarious.
chat in this,
Oh,
right?
dude.
It's so
What,
funny.
One more time.
The idea that what'd you
One
say?
more time, Liam.
I said there's proximity chat in that one, right?
Yeah, well, there's proximity chat in the
Sorta,
sense
kinda.
that, like, oh my god, sorry, I'm watching the UFC fights and there's a dude getting absolutely rocked right now. There's like proximity chat whenever you grab someone and like you take them, like you take. Oh my god, he's getting rocked. Whenever you, I'm sorry, I'm just damn. Whenever you take someone as a body shield, you can talk to them and they can talk to you. So people will walk
whisper
up
in
and
their
like
ear.
grab them and go, "Oh, it's time for the Diddy party. It's time for the Diddy party." And the other guy's like, "No, no, please, God, no."
I remember seeing a video where someone was like, "Hey, turn around slowly." You know,
Yeah, I saw that one. That was funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Like there are things like if you like that style of shooter, that really insanely high paced, like fast paced kind of game, then I
wanna
feel
go
like
back to
you'll like
Black
it.
Ops 3 and 2.
I just feel like if I wanted to play something like that, I would like to play something like Titanfall, where the maps are huge. The maps are really small, and I feel like you can just
See,
haul
but I love
ass
Titanfall.
across. No, I know exactly. I'd rather play Titanfall 2. Because like the maps are bigger and there's like more room for me to like use the movement and stuff
No,
like that and running on
I'm
walls.
like you're saying that, but like it makes me kind of like I like Titanfall 2. So if it's being compared to Titanfall 2 but with smaller maps, it
It's just
makes
smaller
me
maps and you don't run on
feel
walls.
like I kind of want to play it, but at the same but there's no running on walls.
There's no
walls
running
is
on
important.
walls. You don't really, you know.
Running on
It-
walls is
They
important.
used to have that in Call of Duty.
But the movement
I
is
will
kind
say
of the
this:
thing.
the way that they've designed the game, it's kind of like anti-camper. Like they really don't want you to camp anymore.
Which,
they
low-key,
which I
thank
kind of
God.
like. You know, I kind of like.
I appreciate that. That's like the number one thing I've always
But I mean, I gotta
I've
see how it
hated
comes
it
out.
in Call of Duty,
I'll be honest,
but it's
I'm not
also
gonna buy it.
weird. That's fair.
Like I already told he shouldn't be named. I already told him like I'm not. It's like 200 gigabytes, man. I just am not gonna download
Yeah,
200
no, I'm good
gigabytes
with
of
Oh,
that.
so it still eats majority of your hard drive. Okay.
Literally,
It's
it's
like
just trying to
was
take up
the
everything.
beta. The beta was like 100 and something gigs, and that wasn't including the fact that you have to download the whole map for like Warzone, and it's like
Which
it's
is
like gonna be
crazy,
like a
because why?
250 gigabyte, you know, almost like 280 gigabyte game or whatever the fuck. It's like, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna play it enough. I don't really, you know, I don't really care that much for Call of Duty. I've always liked it, but it's not something that I was nostalgic. I just liked them because they were good games as a shooter to me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't really have the nostalgia for them that would make me go, I'm gonna play this COD. You know?
And
But
the zombies apparently is
the
not
zombies doesn't look great.
No, it
Zombies
doesn't.
doesn't look great. Unfortunately,
They're doing
So,
the Cold War one where they
they got health bars and shit. It's also I hate them having health bars. That shit makes me
The
so like.
zombies have health bars. That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
If I'm not mistaken, they do in this one. I think if I saw it, but I do want to see. But like realistically, the zombies don't look good, and like that was the only reason I was like, "Ooh, Black Ops zombies! Yay, Black Ops zombies!" Oh, you know. So
Aw. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very
So
like if I want to play shooter right now, I'm gonna get on Space Marine 2. I'm gonna load up Endless War, and I'm gonna play that because I genuinely think
Because that just makes sense.
it gives me
That's-
that it gives me the same vibe that I used to get when I would play Gears of War, when I would just get on and just shoot shit, and it wouldn't really matter. I was just hop on and just
I'm
you know,
having
shoot.
fun.
Mhm.
Brainless, mindless shooting. Which
Like
is
even if I
technically Call of
lose,
Duty,
as long
but
as I'm not getting
really.
stomped, I feel like I'm okay because that means I at least put in some work. You know, like yeah, it's fine. That's whatever. So I don't know. I'm kind of maybe like I'm more of in like a in more of a like a less competitive kind of mindset. Like if I were to play Siege or something like that, I could definitely play it competitively. And
Yeah, but Siege is
really
like a slower tactical game, which in that kind of way it makes sense because you're like, okay, I want to think about what I'm doing, and although the time to kill is like insane, you're kind of like you made a mistake and then you kind of eat it, and then everything else you kind of move slowly and
that's
do certain things. That
Siege is one of those things where like when I tell people like. I was talking to Anna, and she was like, God, you have, like, she was looking, I was streaming my screen, and she saw that I had, like, I think I had, like, 400 hours in Monkey and Bloons Tower Defense or something like that. And she's like, oh my God, that's a lot of hours. And she did the math, and she's like, you have, like, 7 days or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I don't remember how much it was. And I'm like, oh, that's not even nothing. I have, like, 1,711 hours on Rainbow Six. She did the math, and it was like 172 days or something like that. It was like a ridiculous amount of time, and I'm like, yeah,
that's like the same amount I had on like Destiny 2, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh no, on Destiny 1 actually. That's
I had to have had at least 1,000, at least 1,500 hours. We play a lot of Destiny, man.
Destiny 1. And I was like, damn.
We played a lot of Destiny 1.
That's a lot of time.
We played a whole lot of Destiny 1.
I know I have a lot of time with 14. That's shit.
You have too much time on 14. I need you to play other things.
Motherfucker, Javi has like 2.5k hours on ESO. It's insane. It's like actually ridiculous how many hours he
I
has.
wouldn't be surprised he had more than that on Genshin. Shit.
He hasn't been playing Genshin that like he does his dailies and he gets off. He doesn't play for like 5 hours a day. He only does his dailies, which is like what, like half an hour at most type deal.
Which,
you know what I mean?
To be fair, it's one of the better things about like
also
Genshin and Zenless is that the dailies are fast.
Yeah, completely irrelevant from what we're talking about because I was watching this. Check out my stream. There's like the fight night right now is like Mexico for some reason, and they have like Calaca girls in the back, and that looks sick as hell. Whoever had that
actually
idea
sounds really cool.
Whoever had that idea is that's cool as shit. They look so cool.
Oh, that's sick.
Like, look at them back there. They look cool as hell.
Oh no, that's really cool. Yeah, no, you know what?
It's literally Mexican. It's like literally Mexican themed, like the whole event from what I'm looking at. But like they have these really cool like calacas, like the skull paint on the face for those of you who don't know with all the flowers.
I love the aesthetic.
Looks sick as hell,
bro. They're so cool.
They look so cool.
Reminds me of.
I want to see them. I just wanted to see them. Oh, it's just Joe Rogan now. Never mind. Anyways,
I guess I'll say this to come back around to Twitch shooters real quick because we don't got really much time left. I tried out I Am Your Beast. Yeah, it was not too long ago. I literally played like one level and I just kept playing it until I tried to get an S rank. I didn't get that S rank. Leon and Pele were witnesses.
I am being a coach.
I was trying, bro. But that game is sick. It has like the same vibes as like what was it that we were talking about before? I'm blinking on the name of the game.
Elsewhere, El Paso Elsewhere.
Yes. Except it's a first-person shooter that involves you going, like, running real fast. It's, like, super hot, but without the slowdown, actually.
You're just
fast. Think about it. You're just fast as shit, and you don't die nearly as quickly. You can take more than one bullet because the slowdown's not there. Thank goodness.
Crazy to, like, a game where you have, like, super speed, so you can fire the bullet and, like, haul ass and, like throw somebody in front of the bullet type deal, you know what I mean? Like, some crazy shit. You can, like, run really faster than the bullet. Like, you run and it's still moving, but you're, like, see it physically. You're, like,
around it. But it's cool as shit. Like, just genuinely finding out that there is a kick button. Because throwing stuff is like, they teach you that. They teach you throw, they teach you slide. I haven't really used the slide that much.
They just don't teach you how to kick?
I don't remember the slide being in there from the tutorial.
Yeah, because I haven't used it really. I haven't needed to use it really.
Okay. Well, no, they taught you to kick in the beginning on the tutorial.
They taught me to throw.
No, they taught you to kick.
They teach you the
exit. They told you to fucking stomp the shit out of someone. I know you did.
No, they tell you to jump on top of someone, right?
No,
you could do that, and you could stomp someone. No, because there's a difference.
I remember that you could stomp someone.
You could stomp. Yeah, stomping as an execution is one thing, right? You literally like you knock them down, and you see a big F that sits over them, and you're like, okay, yeah. Kicking them, they don't teach you. They don't teach you can just hit F at any time and boot somebody over.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And I'm like... And finding that out, I was like, oh, that changes the game. It changes everything I need to know. I don't need to have things in my hand. I can just kick niggas and grab stuff. And that's just me finding out everything on the first level. Well, first real level. But, like, as far as the game is considered, like I said, really cool art style, fast-paced. If you That reminds me, if you like things like Ultra Kill or Super Hot, and I need to go back to Ultra Kill because that one's getting crazier by the day. Every time I hear about an update for Ultra Kill, I remember that game's amazing. Um, but I'm a Beast came out. It's really cool. It actually did a shadow drop where it was just like, so we're out now, and everybody was like, oh, this is a cool ass game. So it's not very long because of its type. It's like I said, it's a fast-paced shooter. Like levels are short. You get to replay them over and over and over again to try to get the best times. Those S ranks are kind of hard. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Kind of difficult. I think the first level wants me to do it within 10 seconds. I'm like, or at least 12.
You need to be able to get at least plus 0.5 on your time each time you do something. That's what I see. On average, you need to get those kills. So,
Which is
headshots, night throws, kicking the fuck out of someone. Those are
damn.
your things you need to do.
Yeah,
perfect
on
at it.
average, you have to mix in some other ones to make sure you get enough. Because every time you do one of those, it takes a little bit off the timer at the ending. So like you have to do that. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That one was super fun. We talked about Space Marine. I don't have to talk about Space Marine. We talked about Astrobot. I don't have to talk about it. We talked about the Night manhwa that Leon was reading. So I don't gotta talk about that. Basically, everyone stole all my shit. So like, I have nothing to talk about besides
Fucked. Speaking of, Pele and I did beat Space Marine 2. We beat the campaign. It's not like super long or anything, but like
Bet we can expect a review from you too.
Pretty good story. We can give like
That'll
at
be
some
fun.
point. We need to run through it with you anyways because you own the game.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing it still. But that's gonna be fun. So,
I think that's the beauty of it is its replayability. I'm not gonna lie, Ahmani.
my phone is dead, so I don't think I have a thing to send everyone to be like, oh look, here's this fun thing I got or I found. So I'll just send it another time.
Okay.
I mean, if anything, how was the move, Ahmani? You did have a very important move that happened. How did that go?
Oh no, it went swimmingly. Right now I'm in a really condensed version of my setup.
Yeah, I saw the
we'll
photo
see
that you sent.
how that plays out. Yeah.
I think it was in general in the other chat. Yeah, it's like a significantly more condensed
version of my setup. It's technically speaking, it's missing a monitor. But
it's
like,
horrible
well, it's
because
missing a
the
TV,
fucking
but...
name of our Discord, the Moan Zone. Like, what a fucking.
I mean, whoever made it did that, so.
I love it.
That is my number one complaint whenever we have to stream over there. Is I'm just like, damn, they must think that we're all weirdos. Because look at these names of these chats.
I mean, the people who named it that way are definitely weirdos.
I mean, it was squishy.
I'll
be honest with you.
Again, my description does not retract.
Yeah.
No, it does not. It's very accurate.
I'm like, damn.
I mean, they are accurate to what usually happens in those areas, so I'll take it.
I mean, I'd still look at them. I'm just like, why? Why are these the?
Oh no, I'm cautious because I'm thank God with Discord giving a preview of certain streams because like some of them are just.
Oh my god, that's so it's so.
Some of them are just some of them are just really.
We have some interesting individuals that sometimes will just stream the most just random shit. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that.
Thank goodness that we can preview that.
That being said, what can we expect from you guys? I don't think we mentioned it on here, but like, yeah, later this week we can expect like a nice little watch along. I believe of the Star Wars movies.
Star Wars
I don't know which ones you guys are gonna go
sequels.
through.
We are
Specifically
going
the
to
sequel
go
series?
through Pain.
That's not. Wait, hold up. I realized you said the sequel series
Yes.
and not. Okay,
Oh, it was the
I see.
prequels.
Yeah,
The
I thought it was gonna be the prequels.
No.
I thought it was gonna be the prequels into the and then we're starting with sequels. And you know what?
Do you want us to go through all 9 movies?
I mean,
If you guys want to, I mean, like, you guys
if you
can.
want to,
You
yeah.
guys are super Star Wars.
I could easily go through the first 6, man. Honestly,
Yeah,
Just
so
started
prequels
with
and the
that.
original I can sit through. The sequels I cannot.
I mean, you're the one that wants to do this, brother. I'm just here for the ride.
No. Not just me. We've been talking about this for fucking years. Both you, me, and Ahmani.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I mean, we'll start with the sequels. I'll be honest with you. The first one is gonna be easy. I don't have any issues.
The first
with the
one's
first
not
one.
The
bad.
first one's not the
The
worst
first
part.
one's easy.
Once we get to Rise of the Last
got that
Jedi
many
is when things
issues.
start falling downhill fast.
I don't got that many issues.
You know,
I'm down.
you should do the
I'll
prequels
pull up
first.
for him.
You should
start
do
with
the
the-
prequels for. You should
we can
do
start with
from
the
one to them because it would be it'd be an interesting see just the backlash. Just like
I'm just warning you guys. I'm gonna be annoyed that whole like second movie pretty much. It's
Oh
That's
no,
fine. I feel
we're
like
all
I'm
gonna be
gonna be
annoyed.
too.
I'm gonna be very fucking annoyed with that fucking film.
I skipped that movie, so technically I never seen the second one.
Oh great,
I
you're
just
gonna be
know
more
it's
annoyed.
bad.
Let's watch it with us when we actually get to it.
I can't wait for you to watch it, Ahmani, and make the same complaints everyone makes when they first watch it because the plot
It's
doesn't
like,
make any
the heck is
fucking
this?
sense.
The
It's
only
not even
reason
the heck. It's just that the plot doesn't make any sense. Well, once you watch it, you'll understand. It's such
One
a
of
weird...
one of the main reasons why we're doing the sequel series because our mutual friend Danny hasn't seen
Danny hasn't seen any of them, so we're gonna watch them with him, and I'm down to do it. I'll put myself through that pain for Danny. He's done a lot. He's a great individual.
He's a trooper.
And I guess you can look forward to whenever we decide to watch Craven.
Bro.
We're watching that
Yeah,
not in
that's
cinemas because one, that's illegal, and two, well, we'll review it later when we get a chance.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So,
Are you actually
series-
watching that?
yeah.
He has
Well,
to because
We have to.
because Ahmani here is equally a masochist.
No,
You're watching Craven. You know you don't
I
want to
just
watch.
need to understand how bad it is.
Oh yeah, and that's not masochistic.
But like, it's not like I have to put myself through the pain because I need the pain. I just need to know how bad it is. Like, the way I feel about shitting on certain things, right, is that like you should at least see it before you shit on, especially a movie. Like, right, if I'm gonna
fair.
play a video game and be like, "This is ass." It's like I better have played that video game at least somewhat, or researched enough to know that this shit is garbage, right? Like, I have to make sure I understand. I never, in some instances, I never want somebody to be like, "You're just biased," and that you don't know what you're talking about. I'd rather look through Craven. Because I know that there's going to be someone out there that's going to be like, Craven was a good movie and you just hate because you're a comic book nerd and you like accuracy. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to watch this movie and I'm going to give it, because I swear to God, Madam Web was so trash. But like, I'm going to watch this movie.
Amani, you know what's crazy? I watched that movie twice and I still can't tell you what the fuck happens in that movie, man. I stayed awake the second time tay because the first time I fell asleep for a solid 30 minutes. But the second time I made sure to stay awake and I still can't fucking tell you what happens in that
I'm
movie,
just like,
man.
bro, I'm just, because I had that happen to me before. And I think I've told the story on the podcast, but I just rehash it where I had that like middle school teacher who talked shit about like me not reading Twilight and thinking that Twilight was trash because the base concept of, hey, you're a vampire and you want to eat people, but you don't want to eat these people is kind of dumb. Like initially was like, this is really stupid. This is not great. All right.
It's just Mormon vampires. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, it's not good. I read the books. Let me tell you something. They're not good.
And that was the thing. So like she like chastised me in front of the class. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. I go and watch the movies. I figure everything out, and then I come back to it, and I'm like, I was completely right. There was no reason for you to ever say anything to me. This stuff is garbage. He's like, but now no one can hold that over me. So if I'm gonna talk junk about Craven, I don't want anyone pulling up to be like, man, you just hate. Nah,
That's fair.
it's trash.
I'll give
Fundamentally.
you that. I'll give you that. I will give you that. It's also why I have that genuine feeling about a lot of things. Like I'd rather, especially when things are super like everyone hates it or everyone likes it. It's like okay, let's see. You know what I mean?
I understand that too, but I'm never gonna watch Twilight. I can't.
That's
I
fine.
can't.
Don't waste your time.
The movies are not worth it. I'll be honest with you. The movies leave out some of the best parts of the books, which pissed me off when I watched those movies, man. I ain't gonna lie. I
was just
thought
sitting over here like,
I
oh,
thought some
waste
of the
my
most
time even more.
I thought some of the most interesting parts about that movie was we got to learn more about like the vampires' abilities and that bullshit, and they barely touched that shit in the movies, like barely. And I was so mad. I was like, wow, all the cool shit that they talked about in the book gone. They replaced it with dumb shit. It was so like, wow. I felt bad.
Hey, Aaron, I have a question for you.
I forget.
Yeah?
Do the vampires?
Are you gonna
get
read
affected
the
by something?
No, they just shine. They don't have the same effect.
Yeah.
They really do
Are
just
you,
sparkle.
are you gonna watch
fucking
the
God.
Are you gonna read the sequel book?
No, fuck no. I'm not gonna
Isn't
read-
it just basically a gender bent version of the original? For the most part, from what I've heard.
Yeah, essentially.
It's just
I just don't want to fucking deal with that shit. If you, there was somebody that I watched that made a video breaking down how if you pay attention to all these small details, you figure out more and more that it's just a Mormon story. And the more that I pay attention, the more it's like, oh yeah, this was actually written by a Mormon, and like they don't drink. In the books there is no point in time where anyone drinks alcohol. Like, only once or twice is, like, the dad shown to drink alcohol, and he's kind of a not good person for drinking the alcohol. He's lazy for it, you know what I mean? They really don't fuck before they're 18, like, before she's, like...
Which is crazy.
They don't, which is insane. You know, they made it a whole thing. They make it a whole thing.
The way that they're, like, attracted to each other, like, no.
And heavily, the fact that they literally... get married and have like the whole like getting married and having sex the first time deal, and then her immediately getting pregnant is all like super like Mormon shit, and it's like, wow, that's so crazy. It's just Mormon vampires. And the fact that the fucking dad of the vampire group, I completely forget his fucking name, but the doctor is supposed to be the guy that like inspired Mormon, like in canon he is supposed to look like, or is supposed to quote unquote be the dude that inspired the Mormon religion, quote unquote. He even looks like it. The way he's described in the books, like with the blonde hair and everything, he's described to be exactly like the dude that wrote the guy that like they claim like is their saint who like found the golden tablets. That's a fucking absolute hack and retard. That guy. They claim that like the idea is that he looks like him, and I was like, wait a minute, is he supposed to be him? Like, it's so funny when you get you like looking into the little details, and I'm like, there's so much weird shit about this. I'm not gonna lie, this is weird. You know?
I just made a really bad discovery.
What?
So you know how the 50 Shades of Grey books were essentially like Twilight fan fiction turned into
an actual book. They just
So like Midnight Sun, the latest book from Stephanie Meyer's from the Twilight series, which is essentially a retelling of the first book from Edward's perspective. Apparently, that was a copied idea from the other 50 Shades of Grey, because there were 3 more books released after the original 3, taking same stories, telling from a different character's perspective.
I want to kill myself.
I'm not gonna lie, the idea of doing that as a book, it's gotta be like the laziest. No, I actually feel like it's the laziest.
It can be cool if done well. It's just it is in this situation. It's really them milking the universe dry.
Yeah, no, it's them milking. No, see, if you tell the same story from a different character's perspective, it should be a character that you didn't pay much attention to the whole time and has other stuff going on, right? Edward is like the second main character in the book.
Yeah, but
his perspective is not much different than Bella's.
Well,
right?
I mean, it would.
But if you were talking about
it could theoretically be, because like the book is told from a very first like her perspective kind of.
I mean, like if you were talking,
but it is the same story. You're not wrong. It would just be the exact same story up until a certain point. Like,
I mean,
if I was to use like Mistborn, for instance, if Mistborn, for instance, if you told the story from Kelsier's perspective instead of Vin's, right? That's a completely different story, because his story starts at a completely different point and then continues through the events and then changes.
Yeah, I got you. It's like, I got you.
Yeah, it's like, so where it's like,
I will be honest, kind of like genuinely, one of the cool. There was a book that she completely like. I read I had cousins that had the Twilight books and they had all the full collection, so I would borrow it from them because I would just read anything I could get my hands on when I was in like middle school and high school. And like there was a book that Stephanie Meyer wrote that was meant to take place in between the. How many books were there? 4?
5.
Right. Was it 5?
Counting Midnight Sun, there's 5.
Not fuck Midnight Sun. I'm talking about the original Twilight series. How many?
4.
Are the
original?
There was 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
Technically
so
6. There's technically 6.
Motherfucker, I'm talking the original release, not like all the fucking dumbass little I'm talking about the original release, the big 4 books. That's 4 movies.
The big ones, the ones they made movies about.
Yeah, there's 4, right?
Yeah, the reason why I bring up the 6 because I just discovered this one. Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined, is a gender-bent retelling of the first book.
Jesus Christ. That's not the same. That's not the same story, though. Hey, Pele, you're not helping me. You gotta understand.
No,
the
its
context
existence
of
is shocking. That's all. But 4, yes, the answer is 4.
So it's 4. In between the 3rd and 4th book, there's a short story she writes about a female vampire that is in the colony of vampires that like the redhead bitch from the first one, who's like the bad evil person in all the other ones. You know, they made like a colony of vampires over in like. They're in Washington, so I think they're like in like Oregon or some shit like that. They're like in like across the lake river or whatever the fuck. and
Yeah.
they have a whole colony of vampires there, and like the whole thing is it's told from the story of this girl who became a vampire, and she's there living amongst these vampires, and basically what life is like amongst all these vampires. Like she talks about how she at one point saw like a vampire get their head fucking physically removed from their body by another one in a fight, and how like they taught each other how to, like they were taught by the older ones how to put people back together, and like she lost her arm and she learned how to like piece herself back together and take care of herself, and like how like live amongst the vampires. And that part I was like, oh, this is so cool. We're learning a little bit more about the vampire culture in this world. What a cool thing. That's like a short story. It was like maybe 200 pages. It was a very short book, and then it kind of just ends. I'm pretty sure she dies, but like it's also like kind of like, oh, the vampire world, as much as I hate that they're vampires, because they're genuinely super powered as fuck. They're OP as shit, I'll be honest with you. And like the idea of like the Volturi and the inner universe of it, I thought was cool. I was like, hey, this has potential to be kind of interesting. Never did anything with it. And then like when she tried to explain it in the books, it got so convoluted that it was so confusing, low key. And then they don't explain it in the movies. Piss me off.
Makes it even worse. But without further ado, we're going to bring this one to a close. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Al Capone, for giving us milk expiration dates on our milk.
For real, for real. Appreciate that, my guy. You were a G. For real.
You might have done a lot of horrible things, but hey, that's a good thing that's still doing good things. So shit, thanks for that, I guess.
Sure. Also, thanks to, obviously, my co-host for joining us on this one. Obviously, everyone out there that's been listening to us and supporting us in that way. And as usual, I'm going to say the things that I usually do, which is, hey, yo, do you want to follow us or ask us questions and things like that? You can hit us at _paper_action on the app formerly known as Twitter, and also Threads and Instagram. That's paper_action. And then on top of that, if you want to send us a question, you can also do it at paperplayaction@gmail.com. That is paperplayaction@gmail.com.
Gmail.
Also, the other thing that you guys can always do is just spread the love. Tell people about the show. Talk to them.
Spread it.
Spread it around, because you don't pay for advertisements, and word of mouth is the best way to do it. So, do that. Or you can hit us up in the tip box below or our Patreon to just support the show in whatever way that you want to. It's an option if you want.
Any questions you might have or anything you might want to hear us talk about always also helps,
Yeah.
Always helps. You can just do it there. And if there's anything else, I don't think there is. With that, what is it?
I don't know.
Possibly.
You brought it up, man.
Possibly. I think.
Good night.
Good night.
We're out.